6 months after I exposed her, my phone buzzed with a message I never expected to see. Her name, Sarah, on my screen after everything. My stomach dropped the same way it did that night at 2:47 a.m. That same sick feeling. And what she wrote made my hands shake all over again. But before I tell you what that message said, you need to know what happened in those 6 months. Because it makes what she did next so much worse. After that night, after she ran out of my house crying with her ruined makeup, everything went quiet. Peaceful, almost. She disappeared completely, blocked us on everything, stopped coming to work events. I'd heard through the grapevine she transferred to a different department, different floor, different world. Good riddance. Michael and I started rebuilding. It wasn't easy. Trust doesn't just come back because you want it to. We went to therapy, twice a week at first, then once a week. We talked about things we'd never talked about before. Hard things, uncomfortable things. He gave me full access to everything. Phone, email, social media, passwords to accounts I didn't even know existed. At first, I checked constantly, every day, multiple times a day, looking for proof he was lying, looking for reasons to leave, but I never found anything. Slowly, so slowly, I almost didn't notice. Things started feeling normal again. We started having date nights every Friday, real ones, where we'd get dressed up and remember why we fell in love in the first place. He'd come to bed when I did instead of staying up late on his phone. Small things, but they mattered. 6 months passed like that, healing, rebuilding. Moving forward, I thought it was over. I thought we'd moved on. I thought she was just a bad memory we'd eventually laugh about. Then, one Tuesday morning, everything changed. I was in the kitchen making coffee. Michael had already left for work. The house was quiet, peaceful. And then my phone lit up on the counter. Her name was right there on my screen, Sarah. It was 7:23 a.m., a random Tuesday in October. My heart started racing before I even opened it, that same feeling from 6 months ago. Like my body remembered before my brain could catch up. I picked up my phone. My hands were shaking. It was long, a whole paragraph, maybe 2. I had to scroll to see all of it. It started with, "I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from." Yeah, you got that right. She went on and on about how sorry she was. How she'd been in therapy working on herself. How she'd spent 6 months thinking about what she did and how much damage she caused. How she understood now. How she'd changed. She said she couldn't move forward with her life without making amends. That word, amends. Like this was some 12-step program and I was just a box she needed to check. She asked if we could meet in person, said she wanted to properly apologize and give me closure. Give me closure, like I was the one sitting around waiting for her permission to move on. I almost laughed. Almost. But then I read the last line, and I knew this wasn't really about closure at all. I also think Michael deserves to hear my apology too. I owe him that much. There it was. Michael. She wanted access to Michael again. Wanted to see him, talk to him. Weasel her way back in under the disguise of some noble apology tour. She didn't want closure. She wanted back in. I stared at that message for 10 full minutes. Just stared. My coffee got cold on the counter. I didn't move, and then I made a decision that shocked even me. My first instinct was to ignore her, block her number, tell her to go straight to hell and never contact us again. That's what any normal person would do, right? But something stopped me. A question that kept circling in my head. What if she tries this again? What if she doesn't stop? What if, in another 6 months, she shows up at our door or corners Michael at work or finds some other way to force herself back into our lives? I needed to end this, really end it. I showed Michael the message when he got home that night, handed him my phone without saying a word. His face went hard. Absolutely not. Block her. She's insane. I know, I said. So block her. Or, I paused, I meet her. He looked at me like I'd lost my mind. What? On my terms, one final time, I make it crystal clear that this is over. That she never contacts us again. That this door is closed forever. She doesn't deserve, I know she doesn't. But I need to make sure she understands. She thought 6 months was enough time for me to soften, to forget, to let my guard down and believe her therapy story and her crocodile tears. She was wrong. I had a plan. Meet her, but document everything. Set boundaries she couldn't cross. Keep it public. Keep it controlled. And make absolutely sure she walked away knowing there would never be a second chance. I chose Riverside Coffee. Public. Busy. Lots of witnesses. Thursday morning at 10 a.m., a time when normal people are working, not having emotional breakdowns. I told Michael exactly when and where. He wanted to come, wanted to sit at another table and watch, make sure I was safe. But I said no. This was between me and her. I wasn't going to let her apologize. I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of forgiveness or closure or whatever she thought she needed. I was going to make sure she understood this was final. So I picked up my phone and texted her back with 3 words that would set everything in motion. Before I tell you what happened at that coffee shop, hit subscribe if you're invested in this. Because what she tried to pull next, you won't believe it. Don't miss what's coming. Thursday, 10 a.m., Riverside Coffee. I hit send. Her response came back in seconds. Literally seconds. Thank you so much. This means everything to me. A heart emoji. She sent me a heart emoji. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. For 3 days, I prepared. Rehearsed what I'd say in the shower, in the car, lying awake at night. I set boundaries with Michael, made him promise he wouldn't show up, wouldn't try to protect me, wouldn't interfere. This is between me and her, I told him. I need to do this. He didn't like it, but he understood. Thursday morning, I picked out my power outfit, black jeans, fitted blazer, heels that made me taller than her. I wanted to look put together, strong, not like someone who'd spent 6 months crying and rebuilding and wondering if her marriage would survive. I arrived 15 minutes early, got my coffee, black, no sugar, needed to stay sharp. I chose a corner table with full visibility of the door. I could see everyone coming and going. No surprises, no ambushes. I sat there, back straight, hands steady around my cup. I wasn't nervous. Not this time. I was ready. While she was probably thinking this was her second chance, her redemption arc, her opportunity to make things right and maybe, just maybe, worm her way back into our lives, I was thinking about exactly how I was going to shut that down. Thursday came. 10 o'clock approached. I sat there watching the door, sipping my coffee, waiting. And when she walked in, I immediately knew something was wrong. She looked different. Softer makeup. Natural, almost. Wearing a plain sweater and jeans. Hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. She looked humble. Fragile, even. But I noticed things she probably hoped I wouldn't. The new designer purse on her shoulder. Probably $800. The fresh manicure, pale pink, classy, expensive. The sunglasses she pushed up on her head when she walked in. I recognized the brand, designer, the kind you don't buy when you're truly humbled. She was playing a role, and I could see right through it. She spotted me, gave a small, nervous smile, walked over, and sat down across from me. "Thank you for meeting me," she said. Her voice was soft, apologetic, rehearsed. I didn't say anything, just looked at her. She took a breath and started, the apology she'd probably practiced in the mirror 100 times. How therapy had changed her. How she'd done so much work on herself. How she understood now what she'd done and how deeply wrong it was. She talked about her journey, her growth, how she'd had to face herself and didn't like what she saw. I let her talk, didn't interrupt, just watched her perform. She went on for maybe 5 minutes. Tears welled up in her eyes at the right moments. Her voice cracked at the right times. It was almost convincing. Almost. Then she dropped it. I think if Michael and I could just talk, even for 5 minutes, I could... No. She stopped, blinked. I just think he deserves... Michael doesn't want to hear from you. Michael never wanted you. And this isn't about closure for you, Sarah. This is about getting access again. Her face changed, just slightly, the mask slipping. "That's not fair," she said, her voice harder now, defensive. "I'm trying to apologize, and you're attacking me. I stayed calm, reached into my pocket, pulled out my phone, set it on the table between us. I'm recording this conversation, I said. I've been recording since you sat down. Her face went white, then red. Panic flashed in her eyes. You can't. I can, and I am. She stared at the phone, at me, back at the phone. You had your closure 6 months ago, I said. My voice was steady, cold. When I exposed you in my living room, when I showed you those screenshots and you ran out crying, that was your closure. You're not getting anything else from me or my husband. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. If you contact either of us again through text, email, phone, social media, through mutual friends, through work, through any method at all, I will file for a restraining order. Are we clear? She stood up, fast, almost knocked over her chair, grabbed her expensive purse, tried to look dignified, tried to save face. This is unbelievable, she muttered. But she didn't argue, didn't fight back, because she knew I meant every word. She turned and walked out, didn't look back, didn't say another word. And I sat there, sipping my coffee, watching her leave for the second and final time. She never contacted me again. Not a text, not an email, not a message through a friend, nothing. 3 months later, I heard through work friends that she'd moved. Different city, different state, just gone. Michael was proud of how I handled it, told me I was stronger than he ever realized. And somehow, that whole situation, her trying to come back, me shutting it down, it actually strengthened us, proved we could handle anything thrown at us. Here's what I learned. She thought time would make me forget, would make me softer, would give her another chance. She was wrong on all three. Some people think forgiveness means letting them back in. It doesn't. Forgiveness can happen from a distance. You can forgive someone and still never want to see them again. You can forgive someone and still protect yourself from them. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is keep the door closed. I protected my peace. I protected my marriage. And I protected myself from someone who'd already proven who they really were. Because when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. Don't give them a second chance to prove it again. And if you want to hear about the time her best friend reached out to me with receipts about Sarah's past, texts, screenshots, stories about other married men she'd gone after, that's a story for another day. But for now, just know this. I won, she lost, and my marriage is stronger than it's ever been.